nobody could have ever expected would happen. I'm live here in Napili Plaza in West Maui. I'm gonna sign off for now.
Okay, so the reason why I wanted to start with that is because I was thinking about why, every time I do something, I think about why I'm doing what I'm doing, right? So, and I always cross-reference and cross-check it against my principles. Like, so I know that I've been big on focusing on what you can manage, what you can control, and build where you are, grow where you are, so on and so forth. Because you can manage your own life, your own world. And a lot of times we be so interested in what's going on far from us that you can get really in a rabbit hole of whatever that don't benefit you in your immediate life. So I don't encourage people to get so fixated on things that are really far from them without dealing with home. But then clearly Maui is not where I live. So would I be a hypocrite if I didn't acknowledge that, yeah, a lot of us are interested. We want to know what's going on. And some of it is empathy. Some of it is concern. Some of it is just, a weird curiosity. Some of it is wanting to know your theory is right. And this is where it's important for you to know how to do the knowledge, because it can be detrimental to you if you don't know how to study or don't know how to research. That'll be akin to you not knowing how to date, how to meet strangers, how to enter a downtown part of a city, how to talk to elders. These are just things that you got to master, or else you're going to have challenges and problems that you'll end up repeating until you learn how to do that better. So if you don't know how to know, or how to tell, or how to learn, or how to find out, or how to figure it out, maybe this will help you a little bit. We made a whole book called The Science of Self that was like to show you the scientific process. And to summarize, one of the main points is primary sources versus secondary sources versus third-party sources. In terms of real, regular things, it's like you want to get it from the horse's mouth. You want to know from people that were on the ground. You don't know it because you didn't even see it, but you at least want to hear it from somebody that saw it. And then you can come to a closer interpretation than if you're getting it from a secondary source, which is somebody that talked about it or wrote about it because they heard about it. Then there's a third-party source, which is usually what we get to in the more aware side of things, because we dig in for more profound interpretation. Is what's going to be found in mainstream journalism, which is usually our secondary sources. So now we're at third-party level, where we're speculating, and now you got people that's coming up with their own theories, but they didn't really necessarily go back to the source, and you can tell because they're not quoting primary sources. They're not quoting people on the ground. Like that brother Jeremy, he's the only reporter in that area, and he just now got to go live because they got Wi-Fi on trucks out there now. So, like, the fact that he only had 70 viewers on his live is crazy to me. But that's how it is with primary sources. Like getting first-hand records and accounts, you might have to travel for that. You might have to make some phone calls for that. You might have to really dig for that. And those won't be popular. That won't be sensationalized. It's the way that the spin doctors spin the story in the secondary sources that we usually get in our feed. That's when the bait and click headlines be up there by then, right? Then we have the next level where we're making a new sense of it and we're trying to figure out what really happened. But if you don't go back to the real facts and the real information as it's being wiped away in time, then you're going to be really an even weaker source. And people that's real students and real researchers that go for the primary source, they going to know that you don't know what you're talking about. So now there's going to be conflict and you're going to sense it. That whole thing where it's like, can they see me? Yeah, we see each other. So we want everybody to be able to tell the truth. So you don't want to be a gossiper. You don't want to be a storyteller. You don't want to be a story maker-upper, that's known for always being wrong, because that's what happens when you make a lot of statements that are very decisive, but you don't got the information to know whether you're being right and exact. And that's why it's important to study. So I'm like, I want to hear from somebody on the ground. He's not even quick to be like, we think they did this, we think that they did that. Because imagine him putting his face out there, being the face behind them kind of allegations. So it's like there's need for more investigation, but at very least you can see this was failed, this wasn't done. You can point to things in time, and that's the important thing. First, be able to point to what happened in time. Who did what in time? Who did they answer to? Who did they get the directive from? And that's how you get to knowing the real story of how something happened. And that's when you feel like, oh, okay, this is a long, detailed study that I got to go into. But at least, even if you don't go all the way, you didn't go all the way the wrong way. Even if you was like I want to really dig into this, you at least knew, like, I got to go back to some real sources, because now you can talk to people about what they said on the ground. Now you've become a secondary source instead of a fourth party source. That's the difference. You're not going to become the first party source, but it's way better than being fourth party. Peace.